Rolls-Royce, the psychology behind never advertising and never chasing more customers. Imagine building a company that almost never advertises, produces only a few thousand units a year, and still becomes one of the most desirable brands on the planet. Now imagine that same company deliberately refuses to grow faster, even when demand for its product is higher than it has ever been. That's not a hypothetical. That's Rolls-Royce. While every other automaker on Earth is racing to sell more cars, Rolls-Royce is doing something almost nobody else in business dares to do: it's making itself harder to buy. By the end of this video, you'll understand why that single decision might be the most profitable business strategy in the entire luxury industry. Most companies live and die by one question: how do we sell more? More units, more markets, more market share. It's the standard playbook, and it works for most industries. Rolls-Royce asks a completely different question: how do we become more desirable? That one-word shift, from more to desirable, changes the entire business model underneath it. Because in ultra-luxury, value isn't created by volume. It's created by rarity. And once you understand that, everything Rolls-Royce does starts to make sense. Here's a fact most people don't know: Rolls-Royce could produce far more cars than it does. The demand exists. The capital exists. What's missing is the intention. The company caps production deliberately, keeping annual output in the low thousands, a fraction of what a single Toyota or Ford plant produces in a matter of days. Why leave that money on the table? Because scarcity isn't a side effect of the Rolls-Royce brand, it is the product. Every additional unit that rolls off the line slightly dilutes the thing customers are actually paying for: the certainty that almost no one else has one. This is basic psychology, but very few companies have the discipline to act on it. Human beings assign more value to things that are hard to obtain, not despite the difficulty, but because of it. Rolls-Royce doesn't fight that instinct. It builds its entire business model around it. Quick question: when's the last time you saw a Rolls-Royce commercial? Most people can't answer that. And that's not an accident, it's a strategy. Rolls-Royce spends almost nothing on traditional advertising. No primetime commercials, no aggressive discount campaigns, no billboards chasing your attention on the freeway. Instead, the brand's real marketing department is its existing customer base. When royalty, founders, athletes, and global business leaders choose Rolls-Royce voluntarily, they generate something no ad budget can buy: unpurchased credibility. There's a deeper psychological mechanism at play here too. The less visible a brand's advertising, the more mysterious it appears. Mystery creates curiosity. Curiosity creates desire. And desire, not marketing spend, creates demand. In an economy where every brand is shouting for attention, the loudest voice in the room is often the one that says nothing at all. Here's where the business model gets genuinely brilliant. Most car manufacturers offer a menu: a few paint colors, a few trims, a few packages. Rolls-Royce flips that model entirely: nearly every vehicle becomes a bespoke commission. Buyers can request paint shades matched to a favorite location, interiors built from rare materials, hand-embroidered details, or symbols that will never appear on another car in the world. Some customers spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on customization alone, on top of the base price. From a financial standpoint, this is close to a perfect margin structure. The marginal manufacturing cost of a custom detail is small. The price premium customers are willing to pay for it is enormous. That gap, between cost and perceived value, is where Rolls-Royce quietly generates some of the highest margins in the entire automotive industry. And there's a second effect that's just as important: once a car is fully personalized, it becomes impossible to comparison shop. There's no competing product to measure it against. And when there's nothing to compare, price stops being the conversation. Uniqueness becomes the entire value proposition. Modern industries move on a yearly release cycle. New phone, new software version, new car trim, every 12 months, like clockwork. Rolls-Royce deliberately ignores that pressure. Its design language evolves slowly, sometimes over a decade or more, prioritizing timeless proportion over seasonal trend. The business logic here is subtle but powerful. A car that doesn't visually age doesn't lose social relevance. A Rolls-Royce bought today will still look appropriate in a garage 15 years from now. That protects resale value, protects brand equity, and, critically, protects the customer's confidence in the purchase. Nobody wants to spend 7 figures on something that looks dated in 3 years. The Rolls-Royce buying process isn't built like a car purchase. It's built like a private client relationship. From the first consultation to final delivery, the pacing is unhurried by design. No pressure tactics, no countdown timers, no limited time offer emails. Every touchpoint is engineered to build an emotional relationship with the brand, not just close a sale. That matters more than it sounds like it should, because people don't remember transactions. They remember experiences. And when the ownership experience becomes memorable, it becomes something customers actively talk about, which loops directly back into the reputation-driven marketing we covered earlier. The entire model is self-reinforcing. Here's the takeaway that matters far beyond the automotive industry. Most companies compete on price. Rolls-Royce competes on perceived value. Most companies try to reach more customers. Rolls-Royce tries to become irreplaceable to the right customers. Those are two fundamentally different business philosophies, and they lead to two very different outcomes. One creates price competition, where you're constantly defending your margins. The other creates pricing power, where customers stop asking how much does this cost and start asking how do I get one. That shift, from price sensitivity to access seeking, is one of the most valuable positions any brand can occupy, in any industry, at any price point. It doesn't require a 6-figure product. It requires the discipline to say no to volume in exchange for desirability. Rolls-Royce didn't become legendary by reaching everyone. It became legendary by making itself rare on purpose. That's a lesson worth remembering whether you're building a car company or a 5-person startup. Sometimes the smartest way to grow isn't to chase more customers, it's to become unforgettable to the right ones. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe for more deep dives into the business strategy behind the world's most iconic brands, and let me know in the comments which brand you want broken down next.